Yo, what's good, y'all? It's Project Man. Today, as you can see, we got the guy done acknowledgement shirt on Roman Reigns, man. But anyway, for those who did not watch the stream, which nobody did, I like making fun of the fact sometimes that I don't got no viewers. Anyway, look, I gotta start off with a big bang with how Summerslam. I just streamed Summerslam, you know what I'm saying, and I got to God done start off with a bang, or the biggest thing of the night, so that y'all could God done get it addressed, and that is, let's start with the main event and work our way back. CM Punk defeated Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, man. Now, as far as key spots in the match, only thing I really remember like that, like for sure, for certain, is they were trading some submissions. I know at one point there was like the whole story of the match was Gunther basically was beating Punk down, and they were wrestling, like trading submissions, throwing the punches, the chops, the slams, like classic like body slams and stuff like that. They were having like pretty much about as much of a wrestling match as you could have. Gunther came off with the top with a splash and all that. But the big turning point after Gunther was beating him up for most of this match, even though Punk was getting some offense in, Gunther was standing on the table taunting at the crowd that he's the best in the world, legit. It's not like a nickname, like it's like he's the legit best in the world. He got done yeeted. no Jay was like, yeet, you know what I'm saying? He got yeeted and yanked from underneath and landed onto the announce table, and I fell over to the side, or fell off the announce table, and he was bleeding. He was bleeding from the head. Gunther was bleeding from the head. And I said, and if you saw the stream, I was like, yo, Punk, you gotta be the shark, man. You smell that blood, you get to going. You got done get to going. And he did, man. He threw him back into the ring, started throwing punches. Think he hit like an elbow drop and they didn't get or he went to an elbow drop and then he went for a go to sleep, but got the choke on him, did Gunther. Punk got out of that, hit a GTS on the Gunther, and Gunther was like standing there pretty much knocked out on his feet, and Gunther got hit with another GTS, and 1, 2, 3, CM Punk was, I gotta say that, or at that point in time, is the new World Heavyweight Champion. And it was great, right? Because Punk hasn't been champ in WWE, like world champ in WWE, for over like how long? Like 12 years or whatever. So it'd been like over a decade since he had been a world champ there, with how everything, all the falling out goes and all this other type of stuff, and him finally getting back to WWE and winning a world title at SummerSlam. Like, that was great. And I didn't think that was going to happen. But what I did think was going to happen came next. And that's, if you see my reaction on TikTok, DJ's Project on TikTok, you'll see it. But the cash in time, baby. Seth Rollins comes out there, his music, Burn It Down. The crowd gives him a massive pop. 50,000 people, however many people will really be in there, popping like crazy. And Seth comes down there with Paul Heyman, I think. And he's on his crutches and he has his knee brace, like, oh, hey, keep in mind, I got the Money in the Bank briefcase. So it's looking like maybe he's not going to cash in. Maybe he really is hurt, like how it was reported on his knee, that he was hurt like that from Saturday Night's Main Event. And Seth says, oh, nah, I'm free, baby. Let's fight. Because he dropped the crutches and took off the knee brace, took his shirt off, came running down to the ring, beat up Punk with the briefcase, told the referee, hey, I'm ready to cash in. And bell rung, one stop to CM Punk after he had been beat up bad by Gunther, but still pulled out the win. But he had a match by that point. I don't know how long it was, but he had already wrestled a match by that point, and he got a stomp and a 1, 2, 3 from Seth Rollins, and now Seth Rollins is the new World Heavyweight Champion. And yeah. Then Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker came out there, and they're all kind of like laughing and taunting and congratulating Seth. And then he sits kind of how Punk did with the pipe bomb, with the crisscross applesauce Indian style type, sitting down with the cross legs. And he's like taunting him and laughing at him. I think Punk even was talking a little trash. Like, you could tell he was saying or mouthing something to Seth and pointing at him a little bit as he was not pretty much laid out. So I think Punk even was talking a little trash, even though he had just lost. He was still talking a little trash. But that's how we went off the air, and that was great, man. Like, I gave the match an 8.5. Like, I thought the Punk Gunther match was a really good, like, wrestling, like, actual wrestling match. Like, no flips, no crazy another. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they had a true, like, classical, traditional type wrestling match, which was great. And that's Gunther's, specialty right there. So 8.5, close to 9 on the match alone, but obviously 9.5, 10, it got brought up to immediately when Seth came out there and cashed in the way that he did. So obviously it wasn't as good as Heist of the Century, but you can't say it wasn't good because we know that Seth and Punk do not like each other. So this really helps their story and really furthers interest now because, they had the they had the match on the Netflix debut, then they had a match in a cage at MSG earlier this year, and then they had the triple threat with Roman at WrestleMania, and now they technically just had another match, their third match, singles match at SummerSlam with a cash in. So that's really gonna make for captivating television on Monday Night Raw. And yeah, man, Seth is your new world heavyweight champion, man. Two-time. World heavyweight champion. We haven't seen Seth as world heavyweight champion since he lost it to Drew. Funny enough, how that works. Seth lost it to Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania last year, and Drew got cashed in on within like 5 minutes and lost it to Damian Priest. And now, same thing with Punk. Had it for about 5 minutes and got cashed in on, funny enough, by Seth, who lost his World Heavyweight Championship to Drew at the time. So funny how all that connects together. And yeah, now he got cashed in on. So I said, man, I know Drew's smiling ear to ear, and he was, because they did a little backstage interview with him and talking about, oh man, I'm glad that Seth's the champ, because our hate that we have is professional, but him and Punk, is more personal. So yeah, it's great to see what comes for him. And karma, he said, karma indeed is a biatch. Yeah, man. I know Drew's happy, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, now we're gonna work backwards. That was a great ending. Like I said, 8.5 match, and then it shot up to a 10 with the cash in. You could say maybe it's not as good as the WrestleMania cash in because this was a little more expected, but you can't say that this one wasn't a big deal and also it wasn't a big story. You know what I'm saying? So now we can start at the beginning of the show. At the beginning of the show, I think it was somebody named Brayland. I think Brayland or whoever who sung the, whatever American song of choice that they decided on that particular night, did pretty good on his own merit there. And then they had the little promo package. You know how they do like the promo package where they kind of, they do a little promo package for like a way of hyping up SummerSlam where somebody does the voice and they talk about how, wrestling has these moments and those moments. And tonight you're going to be excited for SummerSlam. And then they actually get into the SummerSlam show. So they had that. And this time, I think they had Kevin Hart was the one for Philadelphia last year, I think. And this year for SummerSlam in particular, they had my boy, my favorite content creator. Y'all know we literally been watching the goddamn Could Have Been House series or Could Have House series. That's my boy Drewski, man. Favorite content creator, man. My boy Drewski did it today, man. He was even on the pre-show. I reacted to that. He was on the kickoff. I didn't know he did the little promo package voiceover thing as well. So, he was making his jokes and saying his thing. And he was front row for SummerSlam. They showed him on the camera. He was front row for SummerSlam. So, yeah, the Drewski memes of him being everywhere continues because the man is literally doing the promo package, kickoff, or whatever for SummerSlam. So, he did great, man. That's my boy. You know what I'm saying? So, love and appreciate Drewski, for coming into my world, wrestling world, and doing his thing, killing it and crushing it there. And then we had Cardi B, Cardi B's Cardi B, man. She just came down to the ring. She looked pretty good and all that. Came to the ring, hyping people up for SummerSlam. It's Cardi B, she was ready for SummerSlam. Yeah, it's Cardi B, bro. She's great, man. She's funny. But anyway, her and Drewski, they sat front row for SummerSlam and stuff like that. And then we got into the show. First match to start us off was Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed versus Jey Uso. I'm sorry, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, on my bad, versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. So I think the match, I forget all the stuff because my computer was, for those who don't know, my computer was messing up, so I had to stream the whole thing on my phone. But I was able to get some footage recorded on my MacBook to be able to post the clips and stuff like that from the show and my reaction to it. So I was able to do that on some of them. So anyway, so Shibuya. We got into that match. It started out hot. They all brawling and beating each other up. Bronson Reed did rob my boy Roman Reigns earlier this Monday for his Jays. You know what I'm saying? So he had to get his get back. The only spots I remember from this match is there was one where I know to get the tag to Roman, they did a spot where I think Bronson Reed was going to, a big Bronson Reed, but, Braun Breaker was going to do his clothesline that he does from the apron into the announce table, and he missed. I think he missed Jay, and I think Jay got the tag on Roman. And there was a spot I remember where Braun Breaker was hitting the ropes, where he hits both ropes for extra speed for the spear and got caught. And then he got caught with a Superman punch as he was going to run to the other rope, or as he was going to hit the spear after running both the ropes. He got hit with that Superman punch. It was freaking great. And Roman did a dive over the top rope, man. He did his talk about the Superman punch. He did a Superman flying dive. He hit that Superman, got the Roman shirt on, Tay. He leaped over the top rope and freaking did a tope suicida, basically, because he leaped over the top rope and pretty much overshot a little bit, to where he launched over the top of both. Like, he hit him still, but he launched over the top of both of them, where like he leaped out like this and like did a somersault, where like you roll forward and you kind of basically do a mini front flip, where you leap over the top and then you like roll over. You know what I'm saying? So Roman, man, I mean, not that he hadn't done that before as far, but he didn't do that roll through like he does. Like he did like where he like had to fully roll over frontwards. Usually when he does that, anytime he does that move where he just leaps over the top rope, he doesn't do that roll afterwards. So shout out to Roman being okay. Hey man, he said, I'll give y'all a show, man. Y'all said I'll be on the yacht, man. But look, I came in great shape and I got something to pull out for y'all young boys that I don't do all the time. So there we go. Roman proves that he can fly, man. 40 years old, my bro can fly. You know what I'm saying? For those who don't know, Roman, as far as active wrestlers, Roman and Punk are my favorite right now. So they were both on this show, funny enough, on this particular night of SummerSlam, after they're going to do, a night 2 tomorrow, which I'll be streaming as well. But that happened, and then the ending of the match was, I think Roman got speared by Braun Breaker, but it was him pushing Jey Uso out the way, who was the initial target, pushed him out the way and took the spear. So Roman even showing a little bit more like, he's showing a little less selfishness, man. He took the bullet for his guy done Cuzzo, and I think Jey hit a super kick to Braun Breaker. I think he might have hit one to Bronson Reed as well. And then he hit a spear on Bronson Reed and a Uso splash off the top to Bronson Reed for the 1, 2, 3. And you gotta love it, as Booker T would say. And that was it, man. So fun tag match. I give it like a 7.5, because I didn't really get to fully pay attention to it, because again, my computer was messing up and I was trying to get it working, thinking I was gonna be able to stream on my computer, but then it just did too much for too long. I mean, it started working, but it did too much for too long, so I had to stream the whole thing on my phone. So hopefully y'all are able to see that when it's fully uploaded or whatever, as I live streamed it live. Well, I publicly live stream it, but I know it'll be doing that uploading process when you in stream. But anyway, fun match. I give it like a 7.5 for what I was able to see of it. Like I was seeing it, but I wasn't able to fully pay attention because I was still messing around with the computer. But anyway, next match was Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. So the champs were Roxanne and Raquel, and then the challengers were Alexa and Charlotte. And of course, Alexa and Charlotte have been doing their thing. Excuse me. Which is getting Charlotte more over, which is appreciated. I was not one of those people that hated Charlotte, but I did hate the fact that she kept winning the world title over and over, too close together, where like you can't even be like, oh wait. They have not done a good job getting you to want Charlotte to be at the top, because she's always there, right? So there's never that, man, Charlotte hadn't been at the top in a little minute. Like, there's never that. It's always like, we know the second she's back, she's winning the world title most likely. And I'm glad they didn't do that with her, because honestly, it's led to a great relationship story playing out with her and Alexa being, their who was it, like convenient acquaintances or whatever, or friends of convenience or whatever. And their whole thing is that they're not friends, but they're, kind of getting along as time goes on. And the reason why I figured that they were winning, because they did get the win. There was not really much memorable from this match. Crowd gave Charlotte a nice cheering when she got tagged in and stuff. And the ending of this match, I think there was I know Charlotte did like her, only thing I remember from this match as far as moves is I know Charlotte did her, where she does the little front handspring and then clotheslines the person. And then she did a moonsault onto both Roxanne and Raquel. As far as moves are concerned, that's the only thing I remember. And then the ending of the match was Alexa Bliss was going to hit her sister Abigail DDT type thing. Rest in peace, Bray. And as she was about to do it, she looked behind her and Charlotte is like right there in the corner behind her. And Charlotte doesn't turn on her. She actually hits a big boot onto Raquel. And then Alexa hits her, sister Abigail DDT onto Roxanne. And the 1, 2, 3 new tag team champions, the Miss We're Not Friends, you know what I'm saying, are the tag team champions. And It's not shocking to me at all. Some people were shocked. Wasn't to me because with this partnership that they have, Alexa and Charlotte getting more over with the crowd, and it's humbling Charlotte more as a character. It's humbling her more because now she's not always in like the limelight, which is a refreshing thing, you know. She even has admitted in interviews herself that she's allowed to be a little more of, I guess you could say, who she is off camera and whatnot, a little more of herself. So even it's benefiting her, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's great to see it. Love that they won the championships. And it brings a different look on Charlotte than just the queen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it brings a different look on her, and it could be really good if they keep playing into this story of their relationship and feuds going forward. It should be great. But I wasn't surprised considering the fact that they had already lost to Roxanne and Raquel at Evolution when they had that fatal four-way. So I was like, with Charlotte on your team, you're probably not going to lose them again. Me personally, I'd just be like, once Charlotte loses one match, if she gets a rematch in the near future, she's probably not going to lose again. So I think betting odds let me know that one. But by this point, I was 2-0 on predictions, and I was 3-0 when we got to Sammy and Cross. Only thing notable that happened in this match was Cross was trying to bring out Sammy's dark side once again when he had Scarlett hand him the pipe, and Sammy threw it to the ground, didn't use it, and hit the haluva kick on Cross 1, 2, 3. Wasn't that long of a match. Wasn't a whole lot going there. Hopefully Cross continues to get, presented well. He got a pretty good reaction at SummerSlam, so hopefully they continue to use him. He's always been pretty good at what he does, so hopefully they capitalize on that momentum, further that the momentum, and just continue to make Cross a beast, man. Hopefully this is, even though he lost, hopefully this is nearing him being at least one of your upper mid-card guys, as he's been getting himself over pretty well on the internet, allowing people more into himself and, his character and stuff like that. So yeah, Sammy's still the only person he's not able to turn into the dark side like he has with everybody else. But even Sammy, he was like hitting he hit this on Cross after the match. Is like, we're done. I think he mouthed the word done. Like, yeah, so they're done with that, Cross and Sammy. So Sammy continues to ascend as a underdog type, baby face. So we'll see what's next for him. But moving on after that match, we had I think this was Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton. This was not. It was going well, so I think I gave this match like a 5 or a 6 because it was going. The other match I gave like a same thing, kind of like 5, because it wasn't really much that happened in the match past the tease of the using of the pipe. It wasn't really nothing that's SummerSlam worthy. Next match had the potential to be, but then they just ended it abruptly. So we got Jade hitting Eye of the Storm, which is a torture rack, which she calls it that. It's like a torture rack where you spin them off into a power bomb. It was a nice move. I think she had a choke slam. She had jaded, but Tiffany Stratton kicked out of that. And then Tiffany Stratton hit, or she was going to do one off the top, jaded off the top rope, her, glam slam, Beth Phoenix, if you don't know. She was about to hit that. And it got countered, which was nice. It did a good counter where she kind of flipped her over into like I don't know how to call it, but like, it's like where you have somebody, like if you were to have them in like a chicken fight position where their, legs is over your head and stuff like that. And she on the top kind of like rolled her through, and it made Jade take a back bump. And then that led to Tiffany Stratton hitting her PME, prettiest moonsault ever, and 1, 2, 3, and that was it. The match was going pretty well, and just as I was thinking, and Big E, funny enough, said the same thing after the show was over, as far as that was one of Jade's better matches in singles competition. I was thinking the same thing, Big E. And then they just ended it with a simple moonsault. Jade Cargill, who is supposed to be this beast, loses the one moonsault from Tiffany Stratton. And I get it. Some people are saying, and that was when I was first wrong with my predictions. I was 3-1. I get it. Some people say she's not maybe ahead enough in the ring, so they shouldn't put the belt on her. Even with that being the case, that still don't explain why she just lost a one moonsault. 2 I could believe, but like 1? I don't know, man. Considering it's people that's probably less intimidating looking than Jade that's kicked out of one of her moonsaults. So I don't know about that, man. But either way, 6 out of 10 match. I just felt, even if Jade would have still lost, right? If it would have had at least like 7, 8 more minutes to really get to that next, because it was getting to the next level, right? So maybe they made it short on purpose for Jade looking stronger or as strong as that she can be. I don't know, but yeah, that's how they ended the match, man. I thought we were going to get Jay as the champ. If they do a rematch, I do think Jay will be the champ there. But, whenever Bianca comes back, I think that's what they should be setting up for. And a Bianca heel turn would be nice because they like Jay right now. So, Bianca heel turn would be nice, man. But anyway, moving on. Jelly Roll and Randy Orton versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre, man. This match was fun. The most notable part, other than Jelly Roll hitting a couple of moves, shoulder tackle, body slam. He hit a little Ric Flair strut and hit a little elbow. He hit a little black hole slam. And the most notable part of the match, though, was when Drew hit a Claymore onto, I think it was Randy Orton. Yeah, on the outside of the ring, he hit a Claymore to Randy Orton, and then he hit another one, I think, on Jelly Roll. And then they put Jelly Roll on the announce table, and Logan Paul, I think he had the meta glasses. By the look of the glasses, I think they were the meta glasses where you could record and take pictures and stuff with them. And he leaped off the top of the ring post onto the announce table, and that round kind of announce table that they got exploded. Like, shout out to Jelly Roll. He did pretty good in the match, and also he definitely did well taking that bump right there. That was crazy. So they teased that as like him being out of the match, and then he got back in the match. I don't think he did a whole lot, but he did. Yeah, he did a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I think RKO was hit on Drew at one point. But yeah, Jelly Roll got back in the match and stuff like that, but it didn't matter because he ended up getting. I don't know if it was. Was that the Claymore? It might have been that was the Claymore. I think what initially took out Jelly Roll to lead into that splash through the table was actually Paul's one lucky punch where, throws the right hand. I think that is what took him out on the outside, because I think the finish was actually Claymore to Jelly Roll, and then Drew threw Randy Orton into the ring post to send him to the floor, and then Logan Paul hit that high flying, maybe not Midas War status, but still high flying frog splash off the top rope, because I bet you he didn't think he was going to be able to hit his usual finish that he does on Jelly Roll. But yeah, anyway, got the 1, 2, 3. I thought it would be the other way. I thought Jelly Roll was going to pin Logan, but they had Logan pin Jelly Roll, so I was 3-2 on predictions. I needed to get the last match correct, which I predicted Gunther, but I think I also said, well, if Seth is not as injured as we think he is, I said it in the stream, but I might have also said in the predictions, I said if Seth is not as injured as we think he is, then I could see cash-in happening. So I was redeemed because, like I just said, Punk got the win. Nice and, a little bit emotional because of how long he had been away from WWE and how long it's been since he's been world champ. Like I say, his parade got pooped on by Seth because he cashed in for the 1, 2, 3, and he's the new world heavyweight champion. Like I say, Drew is smiling ear to ear. But overall, I give the show an 8 out of 10 because it was good it started well at the beginning. Ended great at the end, but in Jelly Roll tag match was fun. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, that was I didn't even rate that match. I think I give it like a 6.5 maybe, because it wasn't all their fault, by the way, because the match started out hot with Roman and Jay and all that stuff. So it wasn't all their fault. I may give that match a 6.5, because them winning the championships was the only thing that really was notable that came from it, is them winning the championships. And then Cross and Sammy, a little bit of story as far as in the match. They had story building up to it, but I'm saying like in the match, there was not really anything out of the ordinary. It was kind of what you thought. Hopefully Cross gets a better push coming from it, like I said. And then Jade and Tiffany was going pretty well. Didn't get time to cook because they went home like right when the match was actually really getting to a year where it's like, okay, I'm starting to like this. They ended it. Then, like I said, the tag match was really fun, so that picked up some pace. Tag match, I probably give that a 7.5, 8. Because it was pretty fun. The crowd was really into it too, so I might give that an 8. Because the crowd was really into that one. Definitely was behind Jelly Roll, unlike how they are for Logan Paul. Goes to show you, when you're known for good things, they cheer the celebrity wrestlers. But anyway, then the main event was an 8.5. Like I said, Punk and Gunther, and then it went to like a 9.5, 10 when Seth had his cash in. But anyway, tune in for the stream tomorrow. If you weren't there today, tune in for the stream tomorrow. But at the end of the day, we're going to say it is what it is and what's going to be his price. You can see to come out with content videos, bangers, being consistent, posting some of the clips even on TikTok. DJ's Project on TikTok. So if you don't want to watch the whole stream, you should watch the whole stream. But if you don't have your time, at least check it out on TikTok, because I'll be posting some of the clips from the show. Posting some of the highlights of my reactions, stuff like that from the show. But love and appreciate you guys, and I shall see you on the next one. Let me know what you thought of SummerSlam down below. Give me your opinions on it and everything like that, and I shall see you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe before you go, and that is the vibe that DJ's on.